welcome to the 200th episode celebration of Building a Leadership Mindset podcast. I'm your host, Nikki Cuesta, all the way from Philadelphia, Pennsylvania, here with some amazing past guests. It's a week celebration as we have been doing this. Is the fourth round that we have been doing this. And first, let me just tell you that Building a Leadership Mindset was just a YouTube channel in February of 2020, where I created one video that talked about fixed and growth mindsets. And I just left it there for perfection, for if my hair wasn't done, if my nails, my makeup wasn't done, it wasn't getting done. And after 2 years of letting it collect that dust and entering into this space of networking and community building and just self-development, professional development, launching a business, that was the right time. In 2022, I decided to resurrect this podcast as I was entering communities and meeting amazing people with amazing stories, their entrepreneur journeys, and really bringing that hope to those that are still kind of fighting that inner battle with what should I do? What's my life purpose? And bringing some phenomenal people on from all around the country, all around the world, and bringing their stories here. And it has been a phenomenal 3 years, and we've hit 200 episodes just a week and a half ago. And we are back to celebrate some of the last 50 guests here. First, I want to thank our lead sponsor, Carolyn Bob Green out of Texas, with Training You to Succeed in the Passionpreneur community. Thank you so much for your support. And we also have a Be Great series podcast that we launch every month as well, just bringing tips. But today is all about our guests, and we are publicly thanking them for bringing their stories and their journeys here on the BALM Global platform, and joining the BALM Global family and see what they're up to now. So I am super excited. It's going to be a week long every day this week till the 19th at 5 p.m. Eastern Standard Time till about 5:50, 6 o'clock. And we're going to reintroduce them and see what they're doing now and what their 2026 looks like. So first, I have in the green room, Leslie Forenzo, who was just on the podcast back in February, and we have not been able to chat. So much has changed. So I'm going to bring her on here first. Hello, Leslie. How are you?
I'm fantastic. How are you?
I am well. So good to have you here. Tell us who you are, where you're tuning in from, what is it that you do, and then we'll go into some more follow-ups.
Thanks. So Leslie Fiorenzo with Business Speaking Solutions. I'm the go-to strategist for people who struggle with business presentations because they're nervous, they're anxious, they don't know what to say, they let that inner critic get the best of them. And so I help them speak up, show up, and own any room they walk into.
Yes. Thank you so much again for accepting our re-invitation to come here on the podcast. First, share what was your experience, if we can remember, because time is flying and things are happening. So just share your experience when you were on last time.
Well, I was trying to look back and see if I could, because I know you sent me the episode and I wasn't able to find it, but that was February of 2024. So almost 2 years ago, when I was operating my business alongside my full-time job. I just had an LLC, which was Leslie Fiorenzo Enterprises. So it wasn't anything meaningful. I was in the process of writing a book. So since then I've written 2 books. I'm in an anthology. Can't speak today. And so it's just, I've had a lot of success in helping people overcome their fear, their anxiety, their nerves, and sharing their stories in an impactful way.
I love that. We're going to get more into that. We have another past guest in the green room. You might know her. She is Nikki Gangemi. She actually was on a solo podcast. I'm not sure what date that was as well, because we've been just rocking them in, but we just recorded a podcast with her and 2 amazing ladies, which is about to drop this week. So we don't close out 2025 with just 200. We have about 2 extra episodes that we are going to launch. And then we're going to continue. We're on the road to 250. So I'm super excited. Met her through the Connected Leaders Academy, an amazing, amazing woman. And I'm so happy that, she's here again. So come on, Nikki. How are you, love?
Hi, Nikki. I'm doing awesome. Thank you for having me on here again. I feel like we were just talking a few days ago.
As we were, yes, absolutely. Tell us a little bit about who you are, Nikki. Remind the world, what is it that you do and where are you tuning in from?
Oh, yes, I will. So I'm tuning in from the state of New Jersey, and I'm the founder of Mindful Matters, LLC, where I help high achieving professionals to quiet the mental noise. So many of us still run on old patterns and habits and fears and way of thinking that really stunt us in life. And I helped myself first. I was my first client, got myself out of a career that wasn't a fit for me and started over again at the age of 40. And if I can do it, that means anybody can do it. So that's what I help people do.
I love that. And what recently, and this is what we spoke about just a couple days ago, what are you recently working on?
Well, recently I have a really exciting project that I'm working on with 2 other amazing ladies, Lindsay Hack and Judy Kane. And we put together the Beyond Limits program where we combine subconscious reprogramming and AI vision boards to help people be able to see themselves as that future version, already having achieved the goal, and then have the believability to keep taking action towards it. So that's coming out in January. We're very excited about that.
Yes. That is awesome. I can't wait till that episode drops this week. So keep tuned, subscribe, comment, follow what we are bringing here to the table. It has been phenomenal to just go through the interview process, right? This is something that I love to do. I do have a show on Prospera TV network with Elena Rodriguez called She Leads Loud. And it's just not the same. It's just me talking, giving all of this, everything that I have on my heart, and really, how do you live loud? How do you just step into that confidence and stuff like that? But this is my sweet spot. I love just getting to know people, what they do, and what are some of the journeys and struggles that you go through as an entrepreneur to have to build that leadership mindset. So let's talk about that a little bit. Even in the success, in all the growth that's happening, what are just some other things that you're kind of noticing either within yourself or the people that you serve? And we'll start with you first, Leslie.
Oh, well, the first place I often start with most of my clients is exactly what Nikki talked about, and it's mindset. I call it your inner critic, and we need to change that voice of the critic into an inner champion so it can be supportive, because that voice is always going to be there, but we can retrain it. And that's to be in our favor. Because when we say, well, things to ourselves that we probably would not tell our best friend, it's not helpful. Yet, as even very successful people, I believe it was Meryl Streep when she was getting an award, she said, yeah, I keep waiting for them to say who is, there's this imposter syndrome kind of deal. I think I got that right. But anyway, it doesn't matter who you are. The voice thinks it's doing its job. So I always tell people we have to thank it. Everybody likes to be thanked for doing their job, whether they're doing a good one or not, and then retrain it and let it know what we need it to say and how we want it to come forth as our champion instead of our critic.
For sure. I call her the inner hater. Sometimes she's not nice and I have to tell her to shut up. I'm busy right now. So I definitely have a conversation with her all day, every day, because when you get into this space, there's so much external noise that can totally make you want to throw in that towel. So we're going to go to Nikki's to Nikki and kind of share what her building a leadership mindset meaning is to her. And then we'll kind of go into that as well. Like what's that conversation look like? Go ahead, Nikki.
Well, first of all, I just love everything Leslie and Nikki, the both of you just said. I mean, you're speaking my language. This is what I do all day, every day, not only for myself, but with my clients. It's helping them to uncover that inner critic, that voice. And what's really interesting is that a lot of times we're only aware of the regular stories that have been, we've been telling ourselves that we're aware of, right? Like, oh, what if I can't handle all the responsibility that comes with success? And who am I to do this? Those are kind of like the ones that we might know. And then there's so many others that we're just not, we don't have an awareness yet that are deep down and still running the show and affecting our results. So that's what I like to help people do, is to get out of the head, because it's very noisy up there, and drop down into the body and lead from there. Start to lead from the body. What am I feeling? What am I noticing? And what might I be telling myself or believing that would get me that result? And then kind of work backwards.
I love that. I love that. So it looks like, one, my light turned off, right? Because this is real live. And I absolutely love it. And we don't edit anything here, because this is the hot call. This is the honest, open, transparent. We do it real, we do it raw. I love it. I do have some of our past guests on another link, so I'm going to get that over to them. But we're going to talk about the next question I'll have for Leslie is, what is your main focus to close out 2025 with?
To close out 2025, just wrapping some things up in terms of what the work that I've been doing and creating a plan for 2026. So I just launched a community and wanting to get the word out about that.
Awesome. And what's the name of your community, and how can they find out more about it?
Yeah, well, the Confident Communicator Collective, and I can drop a link in the, I don't know where to drop a link, but I have a link.
You can put it right in the private chat, and I'll scroll it right on the screen. We'll make it happen.
All right. Well, thank you.
You are welcome. And who is it that we service in this community?
So I often recommend Toastmasters to people because it's a great organization, but it's also very, I'll say, scripted. And maybe I want to work on my networking intro, or maybe I want to work on a particular story or a call to action and so it's an opportunity for people to come together that are in a supportive environment and practice. And so there's a teaching from me once a month, and then 3 different practice sessions, different times of day. So hopefully those times will work out for people to come together and share and get feedback, not only from me, but from others in the community. Because I think there's so much power in a group.
Absolutely. Thank you so much for that. And Nikki, what about you?
Well, other than getting ready to launch Beyond Limits coming up on January 9th, which has been affectionately called, well, maybe not so affectionately, but it's been termed Quitter's Day. So we thought, what better day, right, to launch a goal program on that day. So that has most of my attention right now. And then another thing that I'm working towards is I am partnering up with my friend who has a training company that trains practitioners of NLP. So I'll be one of her trainers. So come 2026, I'll get to fly out to Atlanta 4 times a year and help certify other practitioners so they can do this meaningful work in the world.
Oh, that is so awesome. Thank you so much for resharing. We have some more of our past guests. We're going to bring them up. And by the way, Leslie, do you know Nikki?
I don't know that we've ever met. No. Nice to meet you.
Nice to meet you too, Leslie.
This is absolutely another reason why I love doing this, because a lot of past guests, usually they come on, they see their episodes, but they don't really watch the other individuals that are on our podcast. And it's a great networking tool that if you are on our BALM podcast, I'm sure you're going to find your next collaborator, the next person that can help serve and all that amazing stuff. So we're going to start bringing our guests back or we'll bring them from the green room, and we're going to continue this conversation. Next up, we're going to go over to, he was just speaking on our online business mindset mania that we had on Saturday, which was the 13th virtual event, that signature event that we have at BALM Global. Met him through the Connected Leaders Academy. He's absolutely phenomenal. And he is Scott Schillen. Welcome. Hello.
Hey, Nikki and Nikki.
Hello.
Nice to meet you, Leslie.
Hi, nice to meet you, Scott.
Awesome. Thank you so much for joining us today. Glad you were able. I'm sorry about the mix up. I know there were like 2 links, but we got it. You guys are here, so we're excited.
We are resilient.
Yes.
Yes. So absolutely. Champions adjust. So Scott, tell us where you're tuning in from, who you are, and what is it that you do, and then we'll continue to bring everyone on and we'll continue the conversation.
I am blessed to be in Dallas, Texas. I am 2 hours and 15 minutes from everywhere by aircraft except New York, Boston, Portland, Seattle. So it's very central. I am classically a sales guy and a sales trainer, but I'm a speaker, trainer, coach. And I work to demystify the sales process so people don't get wrapped around the axle. They actually understand that selling is serving, and that in fact, every time we present something to benefit somebody else, we've done a service.
Yeah, and you served so well this weekend. It was so amazing, again, to have you on our platform and just share your 3 simple absolutes, the constants, the things that just are always there in relationship building for your business. So more on that in a bit. We're going to get up another amazing woman that I just met recently. We launched the Me versus Me anthology, where 10 amazing women came together and really had a conversation with ourselves, right? We only batter ourselves. Our only competition is ourselves, and that inner critic that Leslie was talking about, right? She kind of tries to come in. But one of our authors had this reviewer review our manuscript, and she gave us a review to place in the magazine, and we were able to launch it in New York on November 1st and have it posted on the Jumbotron, as we had a great experience celebrating our 3-year anniversary of Ladies of Leadership. So I'm going to go over to Jenny Davis and just re-welcome her. Hello, Jenny. How are you?
Hi, so good to see everybody. Hey, Nikki. Hey, Nikki. Hi, Scott. Hi, Leslie. Good to see you all.
So good to see you. Really quick, who are you? Where are you tuning in from? And what is it that you do?
So my name is Jenny Davis. I'm actually originally from Detroit, Michigan. But right now I'm living in Nashville. I've actually lived here for 20 years now. So technically I'm from Nashville is what they tell me here. Yeah, I am an author. I've written 9 books, 2 children's books, 1 self-help, and the rest are horror thriller books.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So
Yes. And I love your story about that first book that just didn't get out. Can you just tell us really quick, like, what was that hold up until you decided to say, no, I got to get this book out? Because this is really important, why we bring your stories to this platform.
right. So I've always known that I wanted to write. I started writing at 11 years old, and somebody really close to me when I got into high school, and I still knew that this was what I wanted to do. Someone close to me said, "How are you going to pay your bills?" And I'm like, "Oh," and that kind of just took the air out of my sails. I didn't know, where to go, how to approach this. How do I look at this as a career? And so I stopped writing. I stopped writing until probably about 20 years ago. I was probably about 28, 29. And an idea popped in my head and I was like, let me write it down. And it was my first children's book and I wrote it. And then along the way, I was lucky enough to marry into a family of artists. And I had one of my husband's nieces do the illustrations. And so from there it was like, okay, I've got to do this. I've got somebody else involved, their work and their time and their effort. And, it's not just about me, it's about that other person too. So I got to figure it out. And just as I was thinking about that, I got a ping on Facebook from a book coach. And I was like, okay, this is it. I got to do it. This is it. So I reached out to the book coach and she walked me through the steps and she said, so what's holding you up? And I'm like, I'm just afraid. I don't know. I'm afraid of failure. I'm afraid of, so many things. What if people don't like it? What if, this is a terrible idea? And she read it and she was like, this is a great story. She was like, if I didn't think it was, I would tell you so. And we were off and running from there. And yeah, that was my first book. And then the next year I published my first novel and then I did another children's story and it's been on and on and on from there.
So 9 books later, and now
9
you're here. Now I get to know you. Everyone here gets to know you.
Right.
This is why I love what I do, that just connection, rebringing everybody together. Because like I said before, sometimes we just go and watch our episode and we don't know what other greatness is out there. And you guys are all amazing. So we're going to go. We have 2 more guests to pull up here, and I can't wait to continue the conversation. This beautiful soul, I also met her through the Connected Leaders Academy, has a powerful story, and she is Zoraida Morales. Hey,
hello, everyone. Hi, Nikki. Hi, Nikki. Hi, Leslie.
Hi.
Jenny. Scott. How you doing?
We are all good. How are you?
Doing well, thank you. Good to be here.
Yes, it's been a little bit, but I'm glad you accepted the invitation to come back. Tell us who you are, a little bit about your story, and what do you do?
I am Zoraida Morales. I am a New York, New Jersey transplant living in Virginia Beach. And in 2008, I got a cancer diagnosis, which rocked my world. But then in 2019, I got a divorce while taking chemo. And that cracked me open. And so that opened me up to healing myself mentally, physically, and spiritually. So I am now the founder of Life by Design, Not Default. And my foundation program is the 3 pillars of nutrition, mental, physical, and spiritual, because you need all those pillars to help you elevate.
Yes, absolutely. So glad you are here. I know Marlon's camera's off, so when he turns his camera on, we will bring him on here. We're going to go back to Scott really quick because Scott, let's talk about a little bit of what you do as well. And what is like, tell us your 3 constants, because I think that's important as well, because we're always loving to get the information to our audience as much as we can.
Well, again, classically, I believe everything is a sale. Every time we open this up, we are offering something up for consideration. And so what I work to do is simply demystify it and understand that when we share a piece of information, it is either accepted or countered. And if it's countered, guess what? That's now called objection handling. So again, it's all part of the process, but selling is actually serving. The things that I shared the other day were really about understanding when we're creating relationships. There's 3 fundamentals in anything you do. The first is what's in it for them. You've got to come from an others orientation. It's not about you. It's about them. And do what you can to put yourself in their shoes. You haven't experienced what they've experienced, so you need to learn that and really come from that place. How can you be of service to them? The second is that people do business with those they know, like, and trust. Even if they know you, assume they don't. Start all over every time, smile, have some fun. As I said the other day, if you're happy, tell your face. You know, it's about having some fun and getting people to know you. When they get to know you, hopefully they get to like you. Nobody wants a grumpy Gus or Gerda, right? And then it is, you have to earn trust along the way. And quite frankly, if people would truly understand the value of trust, trust is hard to earn. It's easily lost. And quite frankly, we could solve so many problems if all we did is understand that trust is imperative to have relationships together, to do business together. We date those we trust. We marry those we trust. We divorce those we no longer trust. It's about trust.
Very true.
And then the third is, why does everybody agree with that? It's only because it's true. And then the third is that people take action when they're ready, not when we're ready. And that leads to the greatest part of this concept of really having to create relationships ahead of the need for the relationship. Meaning, you've got to have trust built. If it's imperative to do life together, to do business together, to do anything together, we need trust ahead of when somebody else is ready to take that step. And if we have trust built and they're not ready, they're not taking action with us or anybody else. If they're ready to take action but don't have trust built, they're taking action, but not with us, with who they have the trust built. So again, it's important to, these are foundational, whether it be a sales presentation, whether it be a presentation of any sort, or just living your life. When you understand these fundamentals, it's amazing how your life improves. Doesn't change. People resist change, but they love improvement. So it improves, little wordsmithing there. The fact is the importance of words and understanding that we can serve so many people if we would just take the time to care about them, earn their trust, and be ready when they become ready.
Awesome. Great stuff. I know everyone was taking notes on Saturday. You definitely lit up the stage. So thank you for that. We're going to go back to Leslie and saying, what is the biggest this year? What is the biggest milestone you hit in just keeping that focus and staying on your journey? Maybe a milestone you didn't even think you were going to hit, or even was even a thing on your list that you wanted to accomplish this year?
Well, in April, I started doing an in-person workshop I call Creating Your Captivating 60-Second Intro. As I know you're a big networker, Nikki, and I'm sure you've seen a lot of people that stumble a little bit when they go to introduce themselves and they're not clear. So they leave feeling, oh, that wasn't worthwhile. So I'm a big believer in networking. And so I sold out my November workshop. I was thrilled.
Congratulations. That's amazing. Yes, you keep doing it. That's data. You keep doing it until you sell out. That's awesome.
Yeah,
that's a huge milestone.
That's my plan for 2026, is to sell out every month.
That's what I'm talking about. Just do it. Congratulations on that. We're going to go to Nikki with that question as well.
So the question remind me, because I was just like enthralled with what Leslie was saying, selling out every month. I'm like, what's the question?
Yeah. So what is the biggest milestone that you were able to hit in 2025 that you are proud of? And you probably didn't even think that that was something that you wanted to hit.
So, the first thing that comes to mind is this NLP practitioner training. I became a certified trainer 2 years ago and did nothing with it because I said to myself, I left a 15-year career as a teacher. I don't want to teach. I want to coach. That was my mindset. And then Misha opened me up to this. She goes, Nikki, just try it out. Just be open to it. So I said, okay. And I went out to Atlanta. I did the 7-day training and I loved it. And I said, oh my God, I've been thinking of this in the wrong way all these years. I'm still a facilitator. I'm still a guide. There's synonyms for the word teach. So I really embraced that. And I surprised myself because I thought it was going to be a no for me. And I was pleasantly surprised to step into this leadership role.
Nice.
Mm-hmm. Thank you.
You're welcome. I'm sorry. My computer just kind of twirled everyone's little boxes around. So you said that you didn't think that you were surprised. You surprised yourself that you thought it was a no for you. I didn't get the last piece. Can you repeat that?
Yeah, I surprised as the mindset person who is always helping people reframe the way they're thinking. That was very much, I didn't realize I was doing it. I didn't realize that I was saying that I don't want to teach. I don't want to teach. Meanwhile, that's what I've been doing. I just call it coaching, guiding, facilitating. So it was a pleasant surprise to see how much I lit up, and I love the experience. So I'm really looking forward to doing that additionally to my private coaching in 2026.
Yes, congratulations. Now, if you are watching this, how many I want you to really think and take inventory of how much you've invested, how many certifications you have, and are you doing anything with it? Why aren't you putting it into play? It's just one decision away. So, Nikki, thank you for spotlighting that. That was huge. These questions don't happen by accident. They absolutely don't. Definitely bringing these points across, and that's why I love doing what we're doing here. So I thought we're going to go to you that question, but I also want to know, like, what has been going on since the podcast? Like, what have you been working on? What is new? Talk to us.
Wow. So much has happened for me in 2025. I've been lucky enough to be around some amazing people that I've learned so much from. And that was my goal, to be in a room with people that I can learn from, but also find my tribe. And so I was so fortunate enough to go from podcasting to actually doing my first solo speaking virtually and in person, which was, it's an amazing feat, right? You just can't believe that you even did it. And that actually opened me up to co-hosting a Women Who Dare energy event in downtown Brooklyn this October. And it was a great experience. And guess what? People paid to get in, and they did. It was, I can't tell you what that means to me, because, I didn't become a coach. I was a finance project manager. I did not want to be a coach. Now, granted, I was already coaching because I supervised 200 people. So I coach people to do their jobs. And I have children, and I had a husband. But I didn't want to be a cancer coach, right? And then I get cancer, and then Spirit shows me all this love and support. And then my heart opens up, and I say, okay, I'm going to help others, right? Because I'm a caregiver by nature. And so in 2021, when all this came about, I thought I was just going to maybe coach one-on-one once in a while, not a big thing. Since then, I've written in 4 anthologies. I just came from speaker school in November, actually, and I'm just being led. I'm just so I created a cancer thrivership program, which I am birthing in 2026. And here's the thing: I have no idea how it's all going to happen, and I'm pretty okay with that. And that's hard to say from a type A project manager, right? Because again, I'm being led. He's leading me. And so this is a cancer thrivership program that I'm selling to cancer centers for cancer survivors and caregivers. Because here's the thing: people are going to get a diagnosis, but we don't want to just survive. Hell, we want to thrive. Right? And we want to help others as we're doing it. And me helping others has gotten me on your show, on this platform with all you beautiful people. So, I tell people, open up your heart, do what, follow your devotion to self, open your heart and just follow it. And your new career will happen. Your new tribe will come to you. it's just mind-boggling to me how me wanting to be a better version of myself while taking chemo has transformed my whole life.
Mm, so beautiful, powerful. Actually, I had chills while you were speaking because, we're all walking testimonies of when you are moved and led and you actually move and take action. All the things that line up and fall into place. Some are slow, some take a little bit longer, but the results come. And you never know what those results are. But just like you said, just be open to anything positive, transformative, changing. That's the answer. Like, that's your answer. Just build that leadership mindset, get that power back from whomever is holding it hostage from you, whether it's the fear, whether it's the beliefs, whether it's the imposter syndrome. All those words don't even need to be in the dictionary anymore, my opinion. But
I
thank you
agree.
so much, Lila. God bless. Just continue to do your thing. Just amazing. We're not done yet with you or with any of you. We are so excited. We have about a good 12 minutes. Jenny, we're going to go with you to that question. What has been the biggest milestone for you this year?
Wow. So many unexpected, completely unplanned. I started the year off, as Nikki had mentioned before, I did a book review for the book that y'all have coming out, the anthology that came out, which struck me, but I'll get to that. How that came about was through Michaela Winston, who started her own magazine, online magazine called Voices in Print. And initially she interviewed me to talk about a book that I had written. And after the interview, she asked me, would I be a book reviewer for the magazine? And I'm like, yes. Yes, of course. Yes. And so that was just an amazing honor. And through that door is what led me to meeting Nikki and being here today with you all. This year, I planned for my first book event for 2025. I've also been a part of a group of other authors who have done far more work than me, and they found me and picked me up and was like, hey, you belong here with us. and so finding my tribe was a huge deal. And so through this year I did my first collaboration with another writer and wound up on the best-selling Amazon list 3 times for 3 different books, and have been nominated for 2 awards through 2 different author groups, for one for a book that I wrote on my own and one for the collaboration book. And I'm gonna be doing a second collaboration with a fellow author next year. But it's all just been like a blur, and I'm just taking it in stride. And I'm like, it's not till I'm actually like thinking and saying it out loud where I'm like, oh my gosh, all this happened, you know. So I'm going to try to stay along those lines, because I think if I just get so caught up in the you just did this, it not that it'll stop my momentum, but it just is awe-striking to me. And I'm like, okay, I can keep going. I've done it. Now I can keep going. So yeah, that's what's been going on.
That is amazing. Yeah, sometimes we get to these levels and we feel like, okay, are we there yet? And let me just tell you, when I wrote Building a Leadership Mindset, which is not just the podcast, it's also the first book I wrote, the last chapter, very intentionally. So my chapters spell out create success, and the last chapter is satisfaction. And it's only 1 page. And it's straight into the point, saying that we reach level of success, but there's more to do. As long as we're still breathing, the mission still continues. And any level of success is always going to kind of pause you, right? And there's another chapter called surrender. When do you have to like just pass it over to spirit, to God, to whomever you believe in? So I love everything you guys are all doing. This is absolutely phenomenal. Every year, I don't know if you guys talk about like the word of the year. I learned this through networking, through personal development. Have you guys gotten your word of the year? And would you not mind sharing it with us. So we're going to start with Leslie. Has that been something as a routine that you do as well, something you live by year? What was your word for 2025? Do you feel like you hit that word? And what is your word for 2026?
I don't have my word for 2026 yet. I've been doing some thinking, and my word for 2025 was empower.
Love it. And it's empowering. So when we think about these words, right, it's kind of a word that we just stand by, and it's every part of our lives with every interaction, and just everything we do, like what we build is tied to that. Is this going to empower someone, right? So do you feel like, how did you feel about having that word for 2025?
So it was, for me, the word of the year is like a measure, like to think about, is this in line with that? And so I also created I don't know if the word's mnemonic, or so empower is embrace your strengths, mentor and uplift others, pursue your passions, overcome challenges, work with purpose, expand your horizons, and rise to new heights. So that was what I was focused on. So I had it on I have it on a little cardboard here right on my desk, so I see it every day.
I love that. So not that she just picked a word, but she put a meaning behind every letter and just added value to how she was going to take action to create that empowerment. So I love that. Thank you so much for sharing. Nikki, you're up.
So this is interesting. I haven't done a word of the year intentionally in the last year, but as I was reflecting back on my 2025, the word was curious or curiosity. I've spoken that word out loud so many times on interviews to clients and even to myself, just leading from a place of curiosity and questioning a lot of the things we tell ourselves, especially when it doesn't feel good inside. So that was the theme for 2025. And the word that comes to mind that just popped into my head, it's kind of how I operate, is presence for 2026. I really want to focus on being present, paying attention to my body, which helps to keep out of the past and then worries for the future.
I love that. That's so crazy because I just told my family that what they're getting this year from me is my presence. They're getting. I just really, truly, like, I love the gift giving, the celebrations. This year has been so super busy that someone asked me yesterday, like, I hope you're enjoying the holiday season. I'm like, I don't know what to say. I don't know how to answer that. So I haven't been able to do the shopping. I haven't been able to like really get out and do those things. But what I truly want, because I've been so busy, is I just want time. That's all I need. Just time. Let's have a moment, enjoy the week, the days, whatever it is. That's really what I want. So thank you for sharing that, Nikki. How ironic, right? Scott, you are up.
If we were going to encapsulate the word for 2025, it would be renew. Yesterday was actually the 11th anniversary of my near-death experience. So a year ago, I did a gratitude video celebrating the 10-year anniversary. And I didn't plan it very well, by the way. I simply said, I take no credit for being here. God gets all the glory. It's his grace, mercy, and favor on my life. And then I stopped and stared at myself for a second. And I said, geez, I should probably ask, have I accomplished what he saved me for? And the answer was some of it, not nearly enough of it. Well, that's going to change right now. And it literally changed this year. And I was sharing earlier with somebody that my wife and I, by the way, the greatest achievement this year, November 25th, 30 years of marriage. So
Congratulations.
we went, thank you. We went to dinner the other night with some friends, and Peggy took a picture of me. And I don't change my Facebook profile or things like that, like once every 400 years. I mean, I just don't do it, right? And I put that picture up, and I got more comments on me changing a profile picture than on the great content that I post. I'm not happy with that, by the way. But I'm happy with all the comments. But to a person, they almost said, "You look so happy." And what was interesting is, almost took the exact same picture a year ago, and you can see the difference.
Mm.
And so this year was really about renewal, just being on purpose, doing what I love to do, doing this, sharing, imparting. When you see the flash in somebody's eyes, when you know something landed that's going to improve their life for the rest of their life. So for me, it's just been tremendously rewarding, hopefully for many others, through what has been done. And the word that came to me for 2026 is accelerate. Is it's not time to take the foot off the gas. It's the not, and I don't mean by working harder. What I mean is by having more positive impact more often. Accelerate that.
I love it. I love it. It's amazing. And the good thing is, like, Scott, I think I've heard this the other day, but it doesn't get old and it still gives me chills the same way. So the power that you have when you speak is just super awesome. And I love that I get to know you now. So thank you so much, Scott. Jenny,
Thank
you
you.
are up.
I'm going to say that the word for me for 2025 is growth. I have sprouted in so many different directions. I'm learning so much. I am that person that I feel like if I'm learning, I'm always growing. So this year and other milestones, I'm learning how to publish on my own. I'm learning editing. I'm learning designs, how to market myself. So just sprouting in so many different directions. And then to have authors who come to me and say, hey, how did you do this? And me having that expertise. And I'm like, well, let's try it together. Let's do this. So growth was a huge, huge thing for me. And for 2026, I'm finding myself, because I started off as a person that is very, that keeps to themselves, that's very introverted, and having to break out of that shell and be someone who's like out in front. And, I thought I'd just write the books and they would sell. I didn't know I have to sell myself with the books, and finding that out. Now I'm finding that I need to be more intentional in what I'm doing. And I've been doing that, but not recognizing it. So my word for 2026 is definitely going to be intentional in how I move and what I write, and in the messages that I have in my books.
Amazing. Amazing. Thank you so much. And then we are going to go to Soraya, and then I'll say what I have to say. And then I want to close out with you giving everyone, our audience, just the last words of either your experience on the podcast and, just motivation as they're entering to 2026. So Daida, you're up with your word of this year. And what is it next year?
So for me, 2025 was about surrendering. I had gone, and I'm still going through a lot of emotional growth, working through generational stuff, past life stuff. And the beauty was that as I kept peeling that onion, my business kept growing, and it's growing in such a different way that I didn't anticipate. So I had to surrender. I had to surrender to the limiting beliefs, to the way things were, to deferring to others, to people pleasing, to all that stuff, and caring what other people thought, and just devoting to self, right? I'm the only one that matters. It's not anyone else. So surrendering was big for me. And when I did that, here's the thing. When I did that, all these gifts came to me. Like, for instance, Scott emailed me and said, hey, would you like to go to speaker school in Pennsylvania? I wasn't thinking about it, but it just seemed like the right trajectory because of what I'm working on in 2026. And then I said, thank you, Source. He just brought it to me on a platter, because this is how I'm going to do it, with speaking and presence. So I had to surrender and say yes, even though I was scared, because it's okay to be scared. If you're scared, that means it's worthwhile doing, right? Because you're excited about it. So for me, in 2026, my word is flow. Well, I want to ebb and flow, which means that I'm now going to be open and I'm just going to really rely on my instincts, not on my mind and my ego. It's all instincts. What does my heart feel? What does my heart want?
Mm-hmm.
That's how I'm moving in 2026.
We're
So
going
I'm
to
so
flow through 2026. I love it. I love it. I love it. Okay. So, we're the time is just so short. I'm like, oh my God, I always do this just for 1 hour. And we have just some amazing, again, when I started this, I asked God in 2022, March of 2022, before I met my publisher, God, give me a community that I can serve and can serve me back. And he flooded my heart, my world with just amazing people. You all are included in that. So we are publicly, thank you. I am publicly thanking you all for just being a friend, just an amazing person in my life, and bringing your stories, your wisdom, and all your kind words, and that we continue to stay connected beyond this celebration. I don't know what we're going to do. Maybe when we get to like 500, we're going to have like a big live event. I don't know. And I know Tony is online. She's our chief heart officer. She's probably going to write that down and say, hey, do you remember when you were on this podcast, you said this? Let's make it happen. So shout outs to Marilyn, who's watching this live feed as well, to Addie. I just want to shout them out, to Ada, to Maria. Thank you all so much for jumping on, for just, again, supporting us here. So definitely you guys go into the YouTube, and people have been dropping some comments, communicate with them, connect with them, because that's the whole point of all of this. So we are publicly thanking you. You are now officially part of the BALM Global podcast family. So we will stay connected. I know at one point in time when we chatted, I said we were attached at the hip. I really mean that. So thank you. So now we're going to just close it up, wrap it up. We're going to go through everyone and just really just say what is on your heart, what you are moved to leave our audience with. And we'll start with you, Leslie.
So what keeps coming to me, Nikki, is the phrase that I repeat often: if not you, who? If not now, when?
Yes, thank you so much. And she said, if not now, when? Which, oh my God, those were the words that I heard that day I turned in my resignation letter. Wrote about it about 3 times in the 17 books that I've been a part of. Don't ask me how that happened. I only wanted to write 1 book by the age of 40, and God opened up this. So I'm so excited for that. So thank you for even shining a light on those words. Nikki, you are up.
Thank you, Nikki. Well, I keep seeing an image of a bow and arrow. So I want to say that, like a bow and arrow, you pull back and the arrow springs forward. There's power in the pause. So as you end the year 2025 and go into 2026, make it a prioritize checking in with yourself, taking that pause to just see what went well, what might I improve, what could I learn from this, and be willing to course correct. And so you could stay on track with your goals.
Thank you. Oh my God, awesome, amazing words of wisdom. Scott, you are up.
I would just say you're perfectly and wonderfully built, and don't ever doubt that. You're around a community that's here to support your beliefs, not your doubts. And so be there for people, be there, lift each other up, and understand you're infinitely capable. The only one you typically need to convince of that is you. So get on with it. I mean, you're awesome. Now go make some things happen.
Absolutely make things happen. We just talked about that on Saturday. We did the Just Do It, and I actually still have my little Nike swoosh. Definitely referenced that in my talk. It wasn't something that they spent a long time on as far as like logos, mission. They just knew exactly what they wanted, and we just need to do it. We don't get any data. We don't know what can potentially happen. We just know that if we do nothing, nothing happens. So thank you so much, Scott, for that. Jenny, you are up.
Okay, so I'm going to have a two-part message. And what I want to do for everyone who's listening and beyond that is to say read. Read for enjoyment.
Mhm.
Take the time out, block everything out, read something you want to read, and enjoy yourself. Reading has so many great health benefits, and I encourage everybody to read. And then my second part of this message is if you've got a story in you, write it. Don't let anybody stop you from writing it. Write that story. I talked to Nikki a while ago, and I was talking about this children's book that I came across about kids with vitiligo. And I was like, this is such a great book, for a child that's going through this and doesn't know how, or, doesn't understand what's happening. This is a great, great thing for them. So if you have a story in you, write it.
Yeah. So not just read them, right? So that you can fill yourself up with amazing things. That's self-care. That is just improving the mind, getting yourself away from the outside noise, right? And that's, through reading, magic happens because a lot of ideas come out and then you can kind of see yourself really creating. So I love that. And then write your story because no one can tell it better than you can. Thank you so much, Jenny Soraya. You are up.
Yeah. Joy is your birthright.
Mm.
Without a diagnosis, with a diagnosis, life is never going to be perfect. It's never going to be the right time. You've got to make the right time. So live your life by design, not default.
Mm. Love it. Love it. With that, I will say thank you all again for joining us. Thank you for listening and continuing supporting the Building a Leadership Mindset podcast. We'll be here live again, YouTube, LinkedIn, and Facebook, celebrating another group of amazing past guests. Definitely subscribe. We are already scheduling for 2026. So if you're interested in bringing your story on here, definitely connect with us. You can find me on Facebook. Not hard to find, Nikki Cuesta, just like that. I have 2 accounts. They're both real. So you can definitely friend me on both. And I will leave you with, as I always leave after every show, as you all know, is just make it count. Every second. Love you guys. Have a great rest of your evening. Enjoy your holidays, and we'll be back here tomorrow. Bye, everyone.
Bye.
Thank you so much. Bye, everyone.
Bye.